reading is from Matthew 13, verses 10 to 16. The disciples came to him and asked, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" He replied, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have, will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Through seeing, they do not see. Through hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be hearing, but never understanding. You will be seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed all their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes and hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. Blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. But truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people longed to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it." In the song, "The Boxer," by Paul Simon, there is a line which states, "A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest." This means that we put our own interpretation on the events and close our ears to alternative points of view. If you look at the numerous Christian sects that grew up in the Victorian era, this proved to be the case. From dates to the coming of Christ, to new versions of the Bible that could only be seen by wearing special glasses, and many others. All of these sects grew by church leaders placing their own interpretation on biblical truth and closing hearts to discussion. A few churches believed that only 144,000 people are saved, with the rest condemned to eternal damnation. All believe that their way to heaven is the one and only way to obtain salvation. Jesus tried to help comprehension by telling stories with a deeper meaning. He called these parables, and they were designed to provide clarity. They were often stories about lost items, or loving your neighbour, or forgiveness. They had at their ethos the two commandments: love God and love your neighbour. My own Christian journey has followed a zigzag path. When I was a Christian at college, I attended and was baptised at Duke Street Baptist Church. I then met my future wife, who was a Seventh-day Adventist, and took studies in the principles of that faith. I became a member of that church, and when I qualified as a teacher, I was employed by the church at schools in London and Leeds. Over the years, I became more and more disillusioned and questioned several of the key doctrines, and got to the point where I had to leave because I did not believe in the fundamentals of the church. It was as though the scales had dropped from my eyes, and my path became much clearer. I must say that Adventists are lovely, God-fearing people, but I felt the emphasis was not on salvation, but the legal doctrines that were the glue that held the church together. Enid and I then attended a local church called Dayspring. We were here for about 3 years and found a group of Christians who accepted us for what we were and tolerated our not accepting the charismatic message which underpinned this church. We started going to our local C of E church, where we were greeted with open arms, and it didn't seem to matter that I rejected the symbolism of the worship. No bells and smells for me. In fact, for me, a candle is one step too far. I led a strong youth department, arranging weekend retreats for the young people, as well as a regular social pattern. I had a modest talent on guitar and vocals, and so became involved with the musical development of the church. It was here I developed the philosophy of what can I give to the church rather than what can the church give me. My belief is like the simplicity of the parables, with everything else laid bare. I'd like to end with the prayer of St. Francis, which I believe to be the ultimate simplistic prayer. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, and to be loved with all my soul.